My ex really did ruin men for me because he used to pay my bills, never asked me to chip in on rent. If we ever went on a date, he would cover it. Of course, I would get a drink here and there for us, you know, try to pay it forward. And now we're split up, and now I'm dating again. And now when a man doesn't give me what I want, I'm like, you must not like me. You're not giving me what I want, so you must not like me. What is I'm a pass? What is, oh, that's not for me. Oh, that's not my vibe. I think I'm just too bratty for this generation. Maybe I should date older.
Oh, gee, your ex ruined men for you because he paid your bills. Let me tell you something. In that relationship dynamic that I'm assuming that you left, the higher value one of the two was definitely your ex. I mean, he did everything for you, but somehow it didn't work out, and now you're expecting men to do everything for you, pay for everything? No. It's 2025, sweetheart. Get with the times. Everything's 50-50. Oh, let me guess. When a man says, I'm treating you as an equal, so it's 50-50, that makes you drier than the Sahara Desert, right? Because men should pay. Because you're bringing your built-in taco to the table, and supposedly that taco is so fantastic, it's worth its weight in cheese. To be honest with you, sweetheart, why don't you look in the mirror? You're a lower tier mid at best. So it is understandable that men your age are like, I'm good, dog, I'll pass. But that last bit that you put in, that maybe you should date older, yeah, I think you should. Yeah, if you missed that treatment that you used to get from your ex-boyfriend, then you are definitely going to have to date older men. Hopefully the old fella that you choose doesn't mind dating a butterface. Although something tells this gorilla that he is probably going to have to drop his standards in other areas too. Before we move on, I want to say thank you, fam, to all of my subscribers for supporting this channel. I truly appreciate all of you who leave comments, who like my videos, and share them on other social media platforms. I truly gotta say thanks, fam. If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be here. And for those of you who haven't subscribed yet, I thank you for tuning in, and I hope you decide to hit that subscribe button. Moving on!
The sexiest thing a man can do is not be so damn easy. I hate when a man's Insta following looks like he's the head varsity cheer coach or the top subscriber from in every city, territory, or country. Ew. Why is a morsel of female attention worth risking it all? NBA stars risking their marriage to father babies with random women. Is quality a thing? Do you want to like mesh well, or is it just having any female's attention? Like, I don't understand. I hate being at the park and married dads are talking to me. I don't want to talk to you like that. They're being flirty. Like, women love the Pride and Prejudice Mr. Darcy archetype, I think, because his head was not easily turned. So when it turned, for Elizabeth, you knew it was real. He appreciated who she was. He wasn't just trying to entertain any random woman that gave him the time of day. Discipline is hot. Appreciating a beautiful woman and not having to like be all in her DMs is hot. Like, let's bring back standards and men that have them, please.
I don't believe I heard you correctly.
Alright, sweetheart, let me tell you something. If you're gonna make a video demanding to bring standards back from men, guess what? First of all, put your money where your mouth is. Where are your standards? Before you start demanding men to act more traditional, oh yeah, have discipline, have this and that, which, even though I agree with, the very first thing has to come from within. So let's say, if your body count isn't 0, then you really have no high ground to speak of. Okay? Now talking about men who support OnlyFans, this gorilla believes that men shouldn't give these women a dime, especially for all the free corn that's out there. Although I do understand that a good chunk of these men use OnlyFans as quote-unquote therapy sessions. Either way. Now, you said that you don't like to be approached by married dads. Hey, that's fair enough, but at the same time, you said you don't like men in your DMs. You like men to be hard to get. I have to say, Colleens, make up your minds. You're saying don't approach me, while at the same time saying, why aren't men shooting their shot and approaching me anymore? They say, Burger King, sweetheart, you can't have it your way. What do you want to do, pick and choose the guys that you find attractive? And then do the usual, well, I'm going to put out these signs so he should pick up on them. In other words, you want him to read your mind. Why is it always on men to do stuff? Why don't you step up? Why don't you approach the guys that you like? Oh, because you can't handle rejection? Well, then all I can say is STFU, honey. You femme fatales demanded modern dating. You got it. No takebacks. Moving on.
I think one of the heavy factors as to why modern dating has become so terrible is our lack of safe intimacy practices. I think women she likes to love fight. I think oh my god. I know women get emotional intimacy in friendships, and I think men and women do not get an education on the practices, definitions, and expansiveness of terms, of interactions that may be romantic, platonic, relational. And I think that mixed with a socially anxious majority, especially with the way we portray relationships online, honestly, the violence that is perpetrated in sexual misconduct, the perhaps unobtainable love that we see modeled to us in media. It feels like there is a lack of safe common ground and perhaps a playbook. I've talked to so many people over the years, people from the ages of like 20 to 40 asking me like how people meet each other these days. And it feels like, I mean, dating apps are huge, but it's been statistically proven that they're not really trying to get you off of those apps, and that there aren't metric-based ways to determine whether or not you're going to be attracted or find a connection with someone.
Oh, sheesh, this is going to be painful. All right, to my female viewers, I want you to take note. This queen was all over the place. She kept changing her subject every 5 seconds. So when you women say, oh, men don't listen, oh, men listen. And it's just mental torture to listen to a person like this. I mean, she started off by saying that there's lack of safe intimacy practices. Then she went off to say that women obtain emotional intimacy in friendships, and then she jumps to say that there's no intimacy practice training as in school. Then she jumps over to say, oh, well, relationships suck because of the way we portray relationships online. And then she goes into the violence that is perpetrated in sexual misconduct, and then jumps one more time to talk about how skewed dating apps are. How does all of this have anything to do as to why modern dating sucks? You really didn't point anything out that was actually solid there, Colleen. And you know what? This gorilla is willing to go through the pain of trying to decode fem logic here so others don't have to. Wrapping everything that she says so far into one semi-coherent message, this girl is going to use his above-average female translator to try to decode her actual freaking message. I believe what she's trying to get at is there are a lot of reasons why modern dating sucks. There isn't one-size-fits-all in the modern dating issues. Although it's not lost on this girl when she's trying to say that because she claims that men don't understand how emotional intimacy works as well as women, that's the bigger part of the problem. But so far, she doesn't bring up the problems that women bring to modern dating. As in, modern dating is molded by women. They are the ones who have the tempo of the dating pulse. Men, they just get in rhythm, adjust, and say what they need to say in order to get what they want out of dating with women. But let's hear what else this Colleen has to say.
That's really unfortunate. I think it really harms men and women in society. And it's so unfortunate because desire and attraction and love are all beautiful, wonderful things that we're kind of ridding ourselves with what I have been canonizing as like the decay of society, societal norms. And I think, Maslow's pyramid, I don't know if I said all of those vowels correctly, like you need safety to be able to experience any psychological or emotional breath. And so, you know what? I think, unfortunately, we don't have healthy relationships modeled to us, and I really believe that heterosexual versus homosexual relationships add entirely different dynamics. Familial history is incredibly impactful, and a lot of us are just reliving our traumas, but it's really unfortunate to be at the catalyst or perhaps like the end result. When dating becomes technology and technology is inhuman, we become less human. And when we get less human experiences, we get to experience less of the full extent. And that's why I think like love is so special and wonderful, and to celebrate it is so meaningful. And that's not commercialized or materialistic, or at least it doesn't have to be. And it really breaks my heart when I hear about like relationships that I thought would be happy that aren't, or, you know, in my own personal experience when relationships really deteriorated my sense of self, and I had to be really honest with myself and realize that like validation was never going to lead to self-acceptance, and you can't rely on another person for your value or your safety, and that love is a complicated, finicky thing, but it's the best thing we do. It really is. Yeah, what to say?
Colleen, seriously, you are trying way too hard, trying to sound intellectually profound on the subject of modern dating, and it's really not playing out the way you think it's playing out. First of all, you're not even looking at the actual causes of what molded modern day dating. And that would be the liberation that women got. In the last 60, 70 years, men haven't gotten any relationship liberation. It's all been for women. So if you're not going to start there and say, hey, check it out, modern day dating is the letter X. It got here because A, B, C, and all the other letters before it. Since women just gave us our sexual freedom and we can go around and sleep around like men, and it's liberating and it's empowering, and I should be respected like a man if I sleep around with 100 dudes. No, it's an experiment that was put forward in the West, and it basically blew up in women's faces. Why do I say it blew up in women's faces? Because like this femme fatale right here, a lot of women complain about modern day dating. They all point out all the problems with it. Oh, how I don't like this, how don't I like that, how don't I like that. But none of you point out to a perfect relationship that will be completely balanced for men and women. You never do that because you queens always want everything for yourselves. It's got to be men do everything while women reap the benefits, while at the same time absolving yourselves from any responsibility that women have. In other words, you want to reach into the past and get all the good stuff that your grandmother and great-grandmother had in their relationship when the laws were different, and bring it to the modern times with modern laws and keep the good stuff while at the same time absolving yourself from your traditional role. Being a traditional woman, that's not empowering. Being on the dating apps, riding the carousel, and taking multiple tours of Pound Town, oh yeah, total woman of strength right there. But this Colleen got one thing right. You can't depend on anyone else for your safety. I don't care if it's emotional safety or physical safety. That is your own responsibility. The problem is that you queens want men to give you emotional safety, physical safety, every kind of safety there is. Like I said, you want men to be traditional, while you yourselves don't offer men anything traditional. What are you going to say? Well, I'll offer to cook, I'll offer to clean. The biggest question is, do you still have your purity to offer it to the man?
You're goddamn right.
I'm just saying, if you enjoy this audit, click on the video in the end screen for more content. If you would like to support the channel, please follow the link in the description to donate to our beer fund, or like, subscribe, and share this video on other social media platforms. If you agree or disagree with anything about this audit, please let us know in the comments. I'm going to leave this audit right here. I'll see all of you in the next episode.